Palmerston Park is a football stadium located in Dumfries, Scotland. It is home to Scottish League One side Queen of the South. Palmerston Park first opened in 1919, at the same time that Queen of the South were formed. However, it is likely that football had been played on the site since the 1870s, and the site of the stadium was originally a farm called Palmer's Town. Within the first few years playing at the ground, Queen of the South sold Jimmy McKinley, Tom Wiley, Willie McCall, all to Blackburn Rovers, and Ian Dixon was sold to Aston Villa. These sales helped Queen of the South officially buy Palmerston Park in 1921 for £1,500. Today, the stadium has a capacity of 8,690, around 3,300 to 3,500 of which is seated. However, from the 1930s to the 1950s, the stadium had a much larger capacity, and is often cited as the ground's glory days. Queen of the South was also extremely successful at this time, as the club, from 1933 to 1954, excluding wartime interruption, only spent one season outside of Scotland's top division. During that stretch, the club drew crowds of over 10,000 on many occasions, and a record attendance of 26,000 came in 1952 in a match versus Hearts. By the late 1950s, there are many changes happening at Palmerston Park. By 1959, the Portland Drive Terrace was covered with a roof, and in the previous year, 1958, floodlights were added to the ground. They were first used in a match versus Preston North End in October 1958. An interesting note about these floodlights: standing at 85 feet tall, the floodlights are among the tallest freestanding floodlights in all of Scottish football. In 1965, the current main stand was rebuilt after a fire had destroyed the original one. The main stand has 1,185 seats currently, and the stand is a classic style covered stand with the seating area being raised. The main stand also has standing terraces on the left side and in front of the stand. Since 2013-2014, the stand has been known as the Gates Power Transmission Stand. And on the 9th of March 2021, Alpha Solway committed to sponsoring the stand until May of 2024. On the opposite side of the main stand, on the east side of the stadium, Jimmy Jolly's Bull Shed, which was later known as the Coo Shed, was the original stand on that side, opening in 1933 when the club first reached the top division. By 1995, however, the stand was replaced with an all-seater stand, which was named the East Stand. The East Stand was commemorated in a match between Queens and Rangers in April 1995. The match was also Queen's 70th anniversary. The East Stand has also been named the Galway Newsstand from 2013 to 2017, the Rosefield Salvage Stand 2017 to 2018, and the DBS Digital Stand from 2018 to present. In more modern years, while the club was relegated to the second division in 2012, there were still improvements made after this date. To start, in 2012, the stadium improved the ticket offices and added new water systems to the stadium. As mentioned earlier, the stadium had a capacity of just under 9,000 and around 3,500 or 3,300 seats total. However, in the late 90s, some terracing was closed due to safety reasons, before being given a safety certificate in 2014, which helped the stadium get back up to the 8,690 mark. While I've already mentioned both the East Stand and the Main Stand, the stadium also consists of two terraced sections. The Portland Drive Terrace has a capacity of 3,345 and is considered to be a very traditional standing area, and interestingly enough, is one of the largest covered terraces left in Scotland. The Portland Drive Terrace also features a traditional looking clock, which certainly helps give the terrace that traditional football ground feel. As mentioned earlier, an extra almost 2,000 standing capacity was added, which occurred with the reopening of another terrace, the Terrigal's Street End, which is an open-air terrace, and while rather simple, it really adds to the traditional look of this ground. In 2013, a 3G artificial surface was added to the ground, which was the active pitch till recently when it was upgraded to a 5G pitch. While obviously not as good as natural grass, I personally think this is the smartest idea for teams in lower divisions, as the upkeep needed is not as consistent and is typically cheaper, and allows for the club to rent out or ground share it easier. Which appears to be exactly what Queens have done, as since the 2013 season, Heston Rovers FC have called Palmerston Park home and have ground shared, although it appears to be only until the 2021 season, as they played their football in the South of Scotland Football League, and now appear to be more focused on youth development than senior football, as I can't tell if the senior team still play at Palmerston Park after the disbanded COVID season. It's also unclear as if it was just a relegation, because they don't appear to be in the South of Scotland League anymore, but it doesn't say that the club has disbanded or anything like that. I think Palmerston Park, while small, is a very traditional looking stadium, and I personally really like how the older traditional grounds look when pictured, as you don't really have to guess what that venue hosts. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, as it helps me determine if people are liking the videos. I'm also working through some suggested stadiums and video ideas, so please feel free to suggest any more videos in the comments, as it's greatly appreciated. I hope you have a great day.